Hey guys, how's it going? So today we are here with Tujin,
Hey,
and we are comparing two different speakers around the same price point. Now there is a catch here. The speaker that Tujin bought and brought
our DIY.
are DIY speakers, and on Amazon they're currently $250, but originally they are $450.
Yep.
So we're gonna compare how close do they get in terms of performance between two speakers. The first speaker is obviously the one DIY speaker. You wanna kind of explain about the speaker a little bit?
Essentially, they're called the HiVi 2.2As. It's a Chinese company, and they essentially give you the cabinet, the crossover, and the drivers. The only real thing that you have to do to these speakers is the finish. And these speakers have been completely assembled and finished. So, yeah.
Okay, so the second speaker is the speakers that came in for review. These are the Triangle Bro 2s, BRO 2s. So we have the Bro 3 down here as well. But today we're gonna compare these two specifically because the Bro 2 is $450, and the speakers Tujin brought, the HiVi speakers, are $450 originally, but are $250 on sale right now. So check them in the description, and we're gonna give our first impression. So we heard them back and forth, and we were using the Hagel H190. This is an all-in-one integrated amplifier, and as you guys know, I like Hagel. I know they'll sound very well, so it was a good reference point to use both speakers. Now with the HiVi, I was quite impressed, especially for $250. I'm not too sure if it competes quite well in the $450 region per se, but for $250, definitely, this is like a no-brainer buy, for sure. In terms of sound characteristics, I would say that compared to the Bro 2, it is a little bit tilted into high frequency. It is a little bit more lively sound compared to the Bro 2s. The Bro 2s are, even though it's a smaller speaker in comparison, is a lot more full sounding. It is a lot more, the mid-range is a lot more warmer, more luscious, and a little bit more, how do I say it, tonality-wise to my personal liking. In terms of the HiVi, the high frequency is very, very good. The imaging is very good. Now, mind you, imaging is both very excellent on both of these speakers because they're small bookshelf speakers. But on the HiVi especially, perhaps because there was not so much a lot of bass emphasis, things seemed a lot cleaner. Things sounded more open, and I really like the fact that when I had them tilted towards my ears a little bit, even though they could get bright at times, I could hear a lot more detail than I could with the Bro 2s. Now with the Bro 3s, it's an entire different situation, and I'll get into that in my Bro 3 review in comparing with the Bro 2s. But those two were my basic impressions. So one being a little bit more warm, laid back, versus the HiVi being a little bit more lively sounding and tilted into high frequency and less emphasis in the bass region. So again, Tujin.
To be quite honest with you guys, I'm kind of depressed, a bit disappointed. When I came in with those DIY speakers, I was expecting them to crush everything near, the price range. Seeing that's $250, you build it yourself, you're passing some of the savings. And the speaker itself is huge. It has a lot of weight to it. Just the overall components made it seem like, hey, it would be a great speaker. It'll sound great. Well, compared to the Bro 2s, I did find the highs not to my preference. The Triangle Bro 2s sound so smooth at the top end. When I was listening to music, I was actually able to listen to a lot of different music with the Triangles and have an enjoyable experience, especially with the high frequencies. But with the HiVi, or let's just call it the 2.2s, I was struggling to find a song that would really highlight the treble in a way that I'll enjoy it. Bass frequency was rolled off, but very fast. And the mid-range, I would honestly give them both an even rating. I'm actually pretty impressed with the mid-range. But overall, it's not better than the Bro 2s. In fact, in my opinion, and I prefer the Bro 2s, and that's just the sad part of my day.
So there's a surprise factor. So if you want to lift your speakers, so this is the side, okay, and then this is front. So looking at it in front of the camera, you can tell that the speaker is quite smaller than the Hi-Fi speakers.
Yeah, and
So-
these are like double the weight too.
Yeah, and Bro 2s are a lot more easier to listen to. So I found myself when I was listening to the Bro 2s, I can listen to Lindsey Sterling quite loud. I could listen to other tracks, not so I could even listen to modern tracks at a quite reasonable volume, without wanting to kill myself, right?
Yeah.
The treble was not murdering my ears, and that's quite impressive. At this price point, I think that's what people want.
Yeah.
With the Hi-Fi, I feel like it's at this price point very very impressive. $250. That is like a no-brainer. But it is trying to be a lot more refined and a lot more. It's trying to be a little bit more high-end in a sense.
It's
It's
trying really hard to be very, very high end, but
not very, but it's
Right.
trying to be that high-end sound that it has a little bit of lift in the treble response. Now, mind you, it is a lot refined. It's using Dynaudio drivers.
or some copy of it.
Okay,
or
so
something
it's
like
using
that.
some type of copy Dynaudio drivers. It sounds good. It sounds good. The treble seems a lot refined. I mean, for $250, I've seen so many speakers that just tries but doesn't achieve. This gets close.
I think we spent more time kind of fine tuning the Hi-Fi.
Yeah. So the Bro 2s again is a lot more easygoing. You place them, you play them, done. It's gonna sound good. It's gonna give you punch. It's gonna give you a lot of bottom frequency. The Hi-Fi, you need to kind of adjust a little bit to get that sound.
And when I was A/B testing them, I actually used an SPL meter and I measured, the output.
Yeah.
And what I found is even though the output was the same,
Mhm.
I'd have to tone down the Hi-Fi just a smidge
Right,
for
right.
it to
On certain
be as
tracks.
enjoyable. Yeah.
On certain tracks. Okay. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. I think that's all there is. In terms of driving it, I think they were pretty much equal in terms
Yeah.
of So yeah, that's pretty much it for me. In terms of the comparisons, all the products are in the description below. And yeah, peace.
Peace.